This week we've seen huge stars like Rod Stewart, Robbie Williams, JLS and The Wanted all in our humble loose lounge, and that continues today. Responsible for some of rock's biggest hits, it's only Queen's Brian May. A god amongst us. And that's not all. We've also got a man responsible for some of the biggest hits in comedy, including The Young Ones and Blackadder. The list goes on. It's Ben Elton. And this woman has soul, she has sass, and one impressive set of lungs. It's the incredible Paloma Faith. We're so excited. If you've got a question for Brian, Ben or Paloma, or you just want to have your say today, then go to our website, email us at loose.women@itv.com. Post of luck. Our next guest is one of the world's greatest ever guitarists. He's written some of the most memorable rock anthems of all time, and as a member of Queen was part of a global phenomenon. Let's remind ourselves of Queen at the height of their fame.
We will rock you.
Who were those boys? That was a long time ago.
How do you feel when you see that now?
I feel kind of affectionate, you know, it's almost like it was a different life, you know, and it's wonderful to see Freddie in such wonderful condition, you know. He was at a peak of fitness. And, it was great times, it was, you know, 1986 was the absolute pinnacle, you know, we did that stadium tour, and I think we thought, oh, we can do this now, you know, but of course it was the last, it was to be the last tour ever. So, yeah.
Brian, when you look back at your long relationship with Freddie, tell us that moment when you first met him.
I first met him when he came to see us play. We were already a group, me and Roger were in a group called Smile. And Freddie came down to see us, actually a lot. He came to see us a lot. He would always sit there very shy and sort of like this. And then he would come up afterwards and say, no, but you're doing it all wrong. You know, you're great, you're wonderful, you know, you're fantastic guitarist. But, you know, you should do this and you should do this and you should do more of a show and you should wear costumes, you should do everything. And we went, who is this guy? You know what I mean? And then the group broke up and Freddie said, I can sing. And we went, really? Because we didn't really know, you know, and then we tried it out, and by God, he could sing.
And he played piano as well.
And he played amazing piano. Yeah.
He had so much energy, didn't he?
Yeah, incredible.
It was the energy that he brought, which brought all you out, I think, as well.
Absolutely. He was, as well as being the perfect frontman, he was kind of the perfect catalyst and the perfect channel from a band to an audience and
How do you feel, Brian, when you're singing those songs? Because you still perform them.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? Does it remind you of Freddie?
Yeah, always. You know, he's always very much in mind, and I feel proud. You know, I'm proud of what we did together, and you know, I have grieved a lot. You know, and it does strange things to you because it's like losing a family member, but I'm very joyful at what he created. You know, his life was dedicated to just doing wonderful things and not only having a great time himself, but helping other people to have a great time. So to me, you know, I feel joy, you know, and I love singing his songs. I'm out with Kerry Ellis on tour at the moment, and we do a lesser-known song by Freddie, which is called Life is Real, which is really beautiful and soulful, very different from the flamboyant stuff. You know,
and he wrote that one.
He wrote that. It's a lovely song.
Well, we'll talk much more about your tour with Kerry Ellis and all the work that you're doing with her in a second. But the Olympics closing ceremony was probably the last time a lot of us saw you on a huge stage.
Yeah, apparently it was the biggest audience ever. I just saw in the paper, isn't that right?
Funny that.
Not for me. They all went for a cup of tea when I came on.
So didn't you work with Jessie J?
We did.
Oh, fabulous. How was that?
It was great. She's fantastic. She really is great. And I hadn't really worked with her before. I knew her before. I'd seen her at the MTV Awards, actually. and had a good old chat. But no, she was great. She's a real pro. And that wasn't an easy spot to do for her.
I was going to say, how do you connect with the audience in a place like an Olympic stadium?
Well, you know, it was amazing because I followed that lovely little clip of Freddie, you know, and I went out there totally on my own without a safety net to do the solo bit. And, you know, it's an amazing sort of conquering fear moment, a bit like being on the palace roof, you know.
Yes.
From the back, I could see the whole stadium all lit up in sort of blues and greens and purples, and it was just, your stomach just does the most amazing things.
Do you still get nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course, you know, because, you know, it's live and real and dangerous, and you could really, really mess up in front of 1 billion people.
Or fall off.
Yeah, I suppose you could jump off if you get it wrong.
Freddie's mum watched, she must be very old now, Freddie's mum watched the Olympics, didn't she?
She did, and she's with us a lot. We love Freddie's mum, Gia. She's just incredible. She's very much like Freddie. She has a wicked sense of humour. And she's just very alive and full of energy. Wonderful. She's great.
Last
she's
year
very
was your
with us.
40th anniversary, wasn't it?
For Queen.
For Queen.
Yes, it was.
So you went on tour?
We did, and well, we've done a bit of touring, yeah. We did a lot of stuff with Paul Rodgers, as you know, and recently we did some stuff with Adam Lambert, who's an amazing
I love him,
young
American
guy.
Idol guy.
He's an incredible performer, an
Amazing.
amazing voice, yeah. And I keep in touch with him. We tweet each other now, which is kind of nice, you know. I've just discovered Twitter. Do you tweet?
Oh, have you?
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
tweet.
we
What's your
tweet.
Twitter name?
It's kind of dangerous. Dr. Brian May.
Oh, you are a doctor,
Well, I
aren't
am a
you?
doctor,
He
yeah.
is.
I'm a doctor of
In-
astrophysics. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
astrophysics.
And you play
Yeah.
guitar like that. That's unbelievable.
Well,
You're a doctor of astrophysics and you can play guitar the way
Yeah.
you...
Well,
unbelievable.
thank
You
you very
can't
much.
fix your funny toe, though. That's not
Can
what
you
No,
not?
unfortunately
Not good with
not.
split ends, right.
Brian, I want to ask you something about your guitar. You made your
Janet.
first one with your dad,
Yeah.
didn't you? And what was it made from? Do you
Well,
still play with that
it's
person?
still the guitar that I play, yeah. It's my closest thing, really, yeah. It was made out of bits and pieces that were lying around. It was an old fireplace for a neck, which we chiselled out by hand. Bits of my mum's knitting needles and old motorbike valve springs, and she's still with me.
Is that what gives you that unique sound? Because it is a Brian May sound,
It
isn't
is a certain thing, yeah. I think, you know, everybody has a style and you can recognise their style, but the instrument is part of my style, yeah, and it's a little different from anything else. We make them now. I sell Brian May guitars, so, you know, people can do that if they want. But, yeah, it's different from any other guitar, so just a little different. It was actually the first guitar electrically that was designed to feed back as opposed to not feed back, which is quite odd, really. You know, all these Stratocasters and Gibsons, they were all designed to stop the feedback which was getting in people's way. But of course, people like Jeff Beck and Jimi Hendrix used the guitar
Wanted it.
at huge volume with feedback. So I wanted my guitar to do that. So my guitar is kind of a solid body, but it has acoustic pockets, so it picks up the vibration of the air. So it was a good theory, and it actually worked. I can't believe it. Really.
Can't beat a solid body, can you?
No. Well, it has to sing. The guitar has to sing, so it has to be solid. Yeah.
Well, Brian, we're going to hear lots more from you in the next part, and thank you so much for joining us so far. Right, time for a breather before we carry on chatting to Brian and we hear music from Paloma Faith. Welcome back to Thursday for News Women. I'm pleased to say Brian May is still with us. Yay, he's still here. And I want to talk now, you mentioned earlier about touring with Kerry Ellis, the singer, for the Born Free charity. Just tell us a little bit about your work with that.
Well, we went out to Africa to help Virginia McKenna in her work, rescuing lions, actually, which was amazing, you know. And I really kind of connected with Virginia because she's been doing this for most of her life. She gave up a wonderful acting career just to look after animals.
Well, the movie came out, it was almost 50 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, so she became Joy Adamson, in a sense, you know. And she's the most incredible woman. So both Kerry and I went out there and we worked with the workers out there, which was amazing. But I also took the guitar out and we did a few little kind of impromptu little tiny concerts in the jungle for the workers out there. And it was very magical, sort of around the campfire.
What a treat.
Yeah, so we thought we'd like to bring this kind of atmosphere back to England, so that's what we're doing around the country. It's candlelit and very small. Yeah, it's very kind of intimate and acoustic. Completely different from the huge production which we did last time.
What kind of venues are you going to play?
They're just they're about like between 400 and 1,000, but they're all like very nice and you're surrounded by people and you really see people straight in the eyes, like playing in the living room. I love it.
Well, what songs would you do there? Is it a completely different set?
It's very different, yeah. It's a whole mixture. There's a few things from musical theatre which we've adapted, and there's a few rock songs, a couple of Queen songs. You know. A couple of things which I've written for Kerry.
Kerry was in Wicked, wasn't she? And We Will Rock You.
Amazingly so, yeah. Yeah, that's right. She was our first meet in who she created the role. Yeah, she's incredible. I mean, in the early days, I was sort of helping her because I realised there was an incredible talent there. But she's become so incredible, and she has a huge fan club. You know, so it's I have to work really hard to keep up with her. She's just the most amazing interpreter of songs.
Yeah. And you've got a single out now.
We do,
with
the
her.
Born Free single, which we recorded for the benefit of Born Free, and it's because at the moment there's an initiative to try and save the lion in Africa. It's almost unthinkable, but there may be no more lions in Africa by the time our grandchildren are grown up. So, you know, it's still legal to go out and shoot a lion and bring the head back and put it on your wall. It's quite incredible. So there's a campaign going on at the moment which we're supporting to try and make it illegal to trophy hunt lions.
Well, we wish you all the very best with raising money for that. But can we just see a little bit of you and Kerry in Africa?
Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living when you're born free. Born free.
Great to see the guitar.
Hearing that interpretation after Matt Monroe's
It's
one.
very different. It's a great song, you know. A great song is a great song always, no matter, you know, you can do it in different ways.
Beautiful creatures in the film as well. I mean, you don't need supermodels and all that when you've got that kind of those
Cracks me
people
up just to
starring
see
in your
them.
video.
Yeah, well, all these animals were in terrible conditions. They're all rescued from zoos and terrible, you know, cages, and you know, now they're in a wonderful place for the rest of their lives. They can be free. It's so emotional seeing this, the wonderful work that Virginia does.
Well, we wish you all the best with that.
Thank you.
And with everything. And it's just a privilege to have you on, Loose Women. Thank you
you.
so much for joining us.
You had
Stay
my
just
missus
for a
not long
minute,
ago.
because we're going to hear from Paloma Faith in a second. Brian May, thank you. Now, that's not it for today, because we're also joined by the one and only Paloma Faith.